Welcome to the Curry Gumbo Podcast with Nicole, Ashley, and Kalesha. And today we will be honking for Jesus. I know y'all saw this movie, so let's get into it. Based on the short that came out 3 years ago, written by the Ebo twins.
Girl, based on Eddie Long.
Oh, no
True.
way.
Based on Bishop Eddie Long.
I was thinking that too, and then the Ebo twins, I think their names like Adana and Adame. I didn't write it down. I think that's their names. But I've been watching their interviews. You know, they from Decatur. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, anybody from DeKalb County went to New Birth at some point in their life.
At least one time, even if you just saw a concert like me, just went for a concert.
I've been to New Birth. Okay, so I'm like, when they said they from Decatur, I was like, okay, definitely. Big Eddie Long energy.
And the story, I don't think I've seen a film that critiques the church in this way. I'm not saying that they don't exist. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying I haven't seen it.
This ain't Tyler Perry.
No, I really enjoyed it. I didn't know. I don't think it's faring well with some critics. I don't think they're liking it too much.
Critics or church people? Because like, critics. I've seen different audiences.
Yeah.
Every group, every different audience, I don't know, sector has like a different opinion.
I would say I saw an article that it was like a film reviewer. And they just, they didn't really, the criticism wasn't all that positive. And I was wondering if it's because it's positioned as a comedy. But how many times did y'all ever laugh out loud during this film?
I don't think I laughed out loud, but I enjoyed Sterling K. Brown. I thought he was hilarious at some points. Because he was over the top, obnoxious, ridiculous. And I was just like, this man is crazy. Like, he was funny to me.
Did he feel believable as a pastor?
Yes. Oh yeah.
See, he did not for me. But I thought that was maybe the point. Like there are certain roles for some actors and I'm like, I don't see that, but okay. Like I just don't think that, 50 Cent could play Professor X. I don't see that. I don't see that. Right. I don't see Sterling K. Brown as a pastor of a church in this way. I don't feel that. But I think precisely like that. He doesn't feel like a pastor. And he's not supposed to because he's not a good pastor. So there's something that just feels off about it always.
To me, it was just the ridiculousness. And that's what I was drawn to. That's what was believable to me. And, it's been a minute since I've actually, gone to a church regularly.
Same.
So maybe I'm a little bit far removed from a real pastor in the pulpit, but they are ridiculous.
I think that what we have seen with that pastor in the Bronx who was robbed
during a church
service. Yeah. And then we also saw that other pastor who's making fun of his making fun of his members.
Then we saw pride and disgusted.
Yeah, and then we see Kim Burrell and her making her speech. So I think that even though we have not set foot in a church, we have kind of, it's like divine timing.
The culture is around.
Yeah, we have seen the foolishness that is going on in some of these churches. Is every church like this? Absolutely not. Like there's just some wonderful churches, but I think the pastor, just the symbols or the folks who lead these mega churches when you got like 5 cars and all of them are luxury or leaning towards the luxury
Girl,
brand.
airplanes. Who?
When you got a jet, for what? What you need a jet for? You know what I'm saying? When it looked like you can host a concert in your church.
Girl.
Right.
There's some questions I'm going to have about the money. And there are just some questions that I'm going to have about. I personally think that if the churchgoers want their pastor to have a jet, then that church pastor should have a jet. That's how I feel about it, because that's not my business. I don't belong to those churches that do that. But when people start asking questions about the money, I feel like people should be a little bit more forthcoming about where that money comes from. But that's just me. But yeah, I know I'm getting farther and farther away from the initial question. I've forgotten what the initial question is.
No, it's like, how do you feel about this movie with all the controversy going on? Some people love it, some people hate it, some people think it's too much. You know, just how do you feel about this movie? And it
We're
seems
gonna
like
have
you
to
said
edit
you were
out.
kind of.
We're gonna have to edit out all this laughing that Kalesha is doing.
No, the way Ashley said it, I forgot what the question is. It was the last part.
From what I got, I mean, you're for the movie.
I liked it.
Yeah.
And to me,
Me
it was Regina King's movie. I think that she was the main. That's it. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh, Regina Hall. My bad.
It was not Regina King's movie at all. It was Regina Hall's movie. And I think that the film is kind of sold as they're a pair, like this is their film. I think it's Regina Hall's film. And because the story
shined.
Oh, he absolutely shined as a supporting character. But this is not like this felt like the wife's film. It felt like her film. We start with her and we end with her. Like it just feels like this is her story about how she's dealing with the husband's infidelity. Not even
infidelity, scandal. It's one thing to have a consensual relationship with a peer. This wasn't it. This wasn't. I fell in love with Susie.
Yeah,
he ain't falling in love with Sally Mae.
Yeah,
in the third row.
But it also the film also somewhat paints her as a villain as well, because she seems, when it comes to the money shit, it seems like she's all in. Like she is like, yes, give me the money. You know what I'm saying? Even the other church pastors who they're competing with, they don't feel all that safe to me. So I appreciate that there are no good guys in the story. Even that kid who is a part of the 5 who never left. Yeah, I don't trust her, and she's a child.
No, Aria said she loves theater. Exactly. When she said that, I was just like, okay, girl, like
you don't believe in the word. You don't believe in the word.
This is a school play for her. Okay,
she
going to audition. Yeah. She gonna be the lead in whatever play they got coming out.
And if that was me, my mom would have put a stop to that. My mom would have been like, don't play around like that. Sit down.
But those
in one of these mini seats, because the church is empty.
But those devout 5, I think it shows more about their psychology. Like they're just gonna stick with that pastor. They probably really believe whatever Lee Curtis is telling them. Whatever lies they're saying, they are believing it. They believe, just like Trinity believed, that her husband was delivered, or whatever he said. He was saved he saved himself. Whatever verbiage he used, they really be believing that.
They do. They definitely do.
I wonder that.
No, I would just say I think she felt like I think when you are like a first lady, it's like you believe it because you want to believe it. You want to believe it because all three of that's your partner. But then I think she has to kind of like step even kind of above to kind of show a good face. You know what I mean?
Wait,
Huh,
wait, wait, wait.
That
Trinity?
excuse me, I had a burp.
Y'all believe that Trinity believed her husband did not?
Yes. No.
Why?
I think no. She knows he did
Yeah,
Oh,
the
the
act.
act. I think she believes that he was delivered from
He's
whatever.
overcome his yeah
Yes,
delivered.
he was delivered. Okay, that's what she believes.
He loves women now.
do you believe that
Ooh, that's messed up.
the five folk, do you think they believe him?
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess they just blindly.
See, I think that especially the guy, I think Kensington is his name. I
the
wonder if
younger guy.
they, yeah, the younger guy. I wonder if they,
Hmm.
you know how with the R. Kelly foolishness,
Oh
the
yeah.
terrible, like let me not even make it lighter, but like the horrors that the
Hmm.
crimes. There are a lot of people. There's some people who like, I don't believe he did that shit. I don't believe it. There are a lot
Yeah.
of people. There are a lot of people who are like, I mean, I believe it, but I don't think he should go to jail. It's not his fault.
Yeah.
It's the parents'
or they
fault.
or they believe it was consensual because one of the interviews I've been looking at a lot of interviews with the Ebo twins and Regina Hall
Hmm.
and Sterling, and they said they made sure to make the the boys 18 and 19 to have that age of
Mm.
consent so that was part of to make it a little bit more sticky. Like these
Yeah,
weren't kids necessarily,
yeah.
like minors. They weren't minors. They
Hmm.
were of age. And then so that's
Mm.
why when we hear the radio clips saying, "Oh, they old enough, they should know better," which is what you hear that with R. Kelly too. Oh,
Yeah.
they
Yep.
grown, they should have known
Yep.
better. So it
Hmm.
kind of gives you that kind of like that sticky situation to where
Yep.
people
Yeah.
can easily dismiss it and
Hmm.
not really consider it a serious offense.
Yeah.
Very true.
I'm thinking that some of the members of the congregation took that approach. Like these are grown folk. They knew what they were doing. We
Mm-hmm.
love this pastor. We're going to stick beside him. And
Hmm. Hmm.
and which felt unfortunate to me
Hmm.
because it's not, you know, I mean, but
And
this
then a stick
isn't
beside him
is an old
situation.
story. It's not, or even if it's a stick beside him situation, it doesn't really address the issue. It's not because
Right.
I don't think that Trinity would be wrong for staying if her husband was
I
really trying to
understand.
get help. You know,
Right. Right.
if
Right.
because some
Right.
people don't believe in divorce, and I understand that, and I support that. If they,
And she
I
did
believe in it. I believe
because
in those papers.
Trinity said she'll kill him before she divorce him, and I was just like,
It's
damn.
which is so unfortunate. So
Dang.
it's like no one is really interested in seeing him do any type of work,
Of
which
work.
is
Yep.
sad. Like that is really the heartbreaking thing to
Hmm.
me. Um, yeah,
100% agree. Like not even trying. You know what I mean? Yeah.
One thing I thought was interesting was that Trinity got all the smoke from the
E-
congregation, people on the
exactly.
street,
It's like
Sister Danetta
just
at the
because you.
mall. And the only person who came up to Lee
Yeah.
Curtis was that inmate talking about, man, I don't believe nothing they was talking about on the papers. I don't believe that. Man, you still good with me. And it's like, but Trinity
Hmm.
is getting all the smoke and she didn't even do nothing.
nothing,
Nope.
nothing.
Sh- Got all the heat for no reason. She's a woman. I couldn't really understand what it was, but I
Because she
think
a
it's
woman.
just yeah. I literally went to that first. Like, okay, just cast a stone at the woman. Like, oh, you supporting him? Because what if this is a real situation? I think
Is.
it's so. it's if right. If it was a thing and it's like, people gonna be like, oh God, if R. Kelly had a wife, people
He
would be
do.
like, oh, R. Kelly, oh, he do? Okay, I didn't
She's
know that.
I don't know their status, but she
And
still
Aunt
Mm,
be
Andrea, the woman who be dancing her life
she
that's his
away,
wife though?
Jesus.
she still be
Oh
have she
God.
still got carry his name. She said she not changing her name, which I'm
She
like,
did.
girl, change the last name,
I could see
but
her
she
wanting to
not
stick
doing.
with her children. You know,
Man,
if the
forget them kids.
damn.
Change.
Okay.
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 They
Well,
not in. No, we don't know that. We don't know who they are. They could be anybody. But she's the one publicly out there. Like girl,
that's
and them
why I
kids
believe
probably
it's
grown
Regina
too.
Hall's film. That's why I believe she's
Mm,
the one who gets
mm-hmm.
the smoke. She even gets the smoke from him. She didn't want to. So, Lee Curtis has invited a camera crew to document the church's rebirth, if you will. She didn't want them
Mm-hmm.
Comeback.
cameras up in her house.
Nope.
She didn't want the
Nope.
cameras up in her house. She, when he asks her to do that church dance, that praise worship
The
dance and
mime,
foolishness
the
with
church
the
mime.
mime makeup, I just thought, how
What's going
low.
on?
It felt like a scene from fucking Bamboozled.
Yeah.
It felt so, I just thought, oh my God.
And she
Look
didn't
at
want
Yeah,
to
it
do
what
it.
did.
we are training some women to put up with.
But
Mm-hmm.
women do that. I don't know if I don't know why, but women take on a lot for just men in general. She was doing
I
way too
agree.
much.
She was
But
doing
I
a lot.
even
agree.
I mean, I know Ashley and I we discussed and Run the World. What's her name? Who was dating a single father? She was doing way too much.
The most. A lot.
She was doing them
How you say too much in Spanish?
mucho.
Too
Mucho
too much.
grande. Very grande. I can't.
At what
What the heck is
point? Okay, so the movie doesn't really discuss what the scandal is. It kind of like gives you little tidbits of like there's a scandal, but we don't really know what it is or like who's involved.
mm-hmm.
At what point did
Uh-huh.
y'all realize what the scandal was?
I think I don't know when, but there is a radio host that says like sexual misconduct case.
Yeah.
I heard
Mm-hmm.
that.
But that could
I
Mm-hmm.
just
will
be
say,
like a baby, a side baby,
when did I
or
okay, I felt like, okay, what's going on when there's that bedroom scene?
ooh,
And I
did we do it
noticed she is the
the
one.
regular way? I thought we was gonna
Yeah,
do
I
it
know,
the
like
regular
she's,
way.
because when she says regular, I'm like, what are you talking? Like when, so first of all, she's the one who initiates the
Mm-hmm.
the lovemaking. So, and even the way it's captured on film, it's like spliced together. There's no like easy transition into it. It's just like cut, and she's all the way on his side of the bed. So that immediately felt like, okay, something about this is unnatural. Something about this doesn't feel right. And when he turns her over and she's like, let's do it the regular way. And I'm thinking like, what's unregular about this position?
Mm-hmm.
Like what's happening?
Mm-hmm.
And I also, and this is coming from a woman like Trinity. Like I don't think that there's anything unregular about anal sex. I don't. But she would think that is unregular. She would think that that is not normal. So I was thinking maybe he wants to initiate anal sex. Like maybe that's what he want to do. And she's just like, nah, let's not do that. Because at first I was like, oh, he wants to like do doggy style. Like that's what I thought. I was like, oh, she don't want why she don't want to do that, you know? But and then when he could not
Couldn't get
when
aroused the
he
regular
couldn't get
way.
aroused, like he just stayed flaccid, and
It
and
was
that was
like
the end of that exchange. Like so she it seemed like she kind of
No, she asked,
performed
well,
oral sex.
can you do the thing I like? Can you do the one thing I like? Cause
And also, like, what I'm assuming the one thing was just oral sex.
yeah,
Am I right about that? Did she do anything else? Did she do
no,
the
I don't think so.
tuchus? Do y'all know what tuchus is?
Nope,
Mm-mm.
I don't know the terminology. You're not gonna
I
explain.
don't know it either.
Hold on, I'm looking it up to make sure I'm saying the. It's it's when you it's when you lick the butthole. But I didn't think that the positioning was because I was like, how's she getting? How is she doing
No,
that?
I
So
don't think
I
she did
just
all
think it
that.
was like oral. I think it was
Yeah.
sucking dick. You know what I'm saying? But I um that's when I knew. I was
So
like,
that's
oh,
when you knew
this
it was
is
men, like it was some men involved.
yeah.
What about you, Kalesha? When you figure out like what the
It was
real scandal
the
was?
radio station thing really, yeah, the radio station really teed me into kind of, getting the idea around it. And I mean, honestly, that scene with that, it kind of made me feel like you're just not really,
He
you know
don't
what I
like her.
mean? It
It
I
seemed
think
like he
he
didn't
loves
like
her.
her. No, but okay, you can. Well, he's not sexually attracted to her. They can be best
Yeah.
friends, but as far as being attracted, like he's not attracted to her.
I
Literally,
don't
he's
And
think
not.
they
so. I think
seem
he has a love for
yeah,
her,
they
so that's
seem
good.
fairly young. So I would want to know, like, how long has this been happening? Was he ever attracted? Y'all don't
Mhm.
have children. Y'all
True.
don't have children. So were y'all did y'all ever have an active sex life? What's going on? And I wish that I
Mhm.
would have gotten a glimpse of that. I thought that maybe we would get a glimpse of it when she's
Mhm.
having breakfast with her mother, who was just such a disappointing mother, in my opinion. Um, but we never do.
Disappointing,
It
but typical.
I
Typical
don't know
in
about
the
that.
in their environment. There's lots of women
It
church
for like
women
maybe
who would never.
stereotypically because I think that there's some activism that is happening within the church. We just don't know about it. I
Yes,
think if we
but for her, for the mother's generation, even going back to the people in the church when they were giving their little interviews, and the older couple in the church, they were like, listen, back in the day there was pastor was always in a scandal. You don't leave the church for a scandal. Who cares? You stick beside the pastor. And I feel like the
Mhm.
mom, when the mom was like, girl, I wanted to, you think I never thought about leaving your daddy? Thought about him leaving him all the time. But I would never, because that's not what we do. We stick
Yeah.
beside him.
Mhm.
And okay, even if she had that position, I think there is a way to keep that position but still be loving to your daughter. Because for her to just accuse her of not being a good Christian
Oh
by
yeah.
saying that, it felt like, damn, can she have an outlet to talk about what is going on?
Nope.
Yeah.
She don't have nobody to talk to about this. She don't have no friends.
No friend.
Mm-mm.
I was just gonna say no
She
friend.
don't have I didn't see a sister.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
I
No
saw my but
kids.
she no children. I didn't even
Mhm.
see like a wait staff. I didn't see like a housekeeper. I didn't see a cook. I didn't see anything for her.
Mhm.
I didn't even see a lover for her. Like
Nope.
so she is really doing this work diligently and she has no outlet. None. It's so sad.
It is.
Trinity reminded me of um this is something I had to grow up as I grew older, had to learn. When you do everything you're supposed to do, but you're not getting the results.
Hmm.
For me,
Yeah.
it was just
Yeah.
like, okay, I go to college, I get this job, I do this. What's missed? Like, like Some ain't right. And I think with her, it's like, okay, I got married. I have, this God fearing, in quotations, a God fearing man or a man who loves God. He's a pastor. We have this church. What's what didn't like what's not wrong? And it's because I, people are so focused on, checking boxes and doing the right thing that you lose focus on, like, how does this make you feel?
Yeah.
What does your spirit
Yeah.
tell you?
And I
Are
think
you
that people are
happy?
selling a dream that doesn't really
Yeah.
exist. Because honestly, yeah, you're doing everything right and you're getting everything that you have worked for, but this is it. This is the dream. Do you want this? Oh, they didn't tell you that?
Mhm.
They didn't tell you that this dream was some bullshit? Oh, well. Like that's what it like.
Mhm.
So even with like I did what I made good grades. Where's the
Yep.
job that I'm supposed to have? And even when you get the job that you're supposed to have, it's like this ain't fun. Like I don't like this shit.
That's the
Oh,
thing.
they
The
didn't
thing is,
tell
like,
you. They didn't
it's
tell
how
you
you
that.
feel. It's like, why don't I feel, you know, great or happy or whatever the feeling I'm supposed to have? Like, why don't I have that feeling? So that's what Trinity
Yep.
gave me, a lot of that energy. Like, I'm doing everything right, and she probably in her mind, she did everything she was supposed to do and everything the correct way. But it's not. I mean, that's not how life works. You can't do life the right.
Mhm.
There's no right way to do life.
How y'all felt about that
That's
hat?
real.
Oh, the hat that kept. I mean,
Oh, yeah. What did that symbolize? That hat meant something. Like, what do you think that meant?
that was her stepping into getting some control because she did everything her husband
Yeah.
wanted her to do. From the clothes, from their little matchy
Yeah.
clothes. Like, I'm wearing the purple Prada and
I
you
was gonna
wear
say
this
that they
one.
had to match.
And so when she first got the hat, he was like, "Nah, we don't do that hat." And she's just like, "But I kind of like it." And he's like, "Nah, but that's not what we do." It's like he was
Yeah.
he dictated everything. The first scene where they're eating breakfast and he's like, "Oh, you're scraping on my mama's china."
Oh
Damn.
my
Bitch,
god.
fuck you and your mama and fuck this fucking China,
Okay.
bitch.
So it's like, I feel like that hat was her beginnings of resistance, of sticking up for herself and being like, you know what, Lee Curtis got a lot of stuff going on, and I'm
First of all,
like,
your
again,
name is Lee Curtis. I don't trust
That's
you
what I
from that.
hate. I hate it. I hate the name. It sounds like a pastor name, but I hate the name.
I don't trust no fucking man named Lee Curtis.
No, I don't.
I don't
No,
trust
I
no
don't.
man named Lee. I don't trust no man named Curtis. I for damn sure don't trust no man named Lee Curtis.
and it was
I
hyphen. It's
don't
not like,
trust.
but the thing was, it was hyphen. It's not like his first name was Lee and his middle name was Curtis, and that's just what they called him. It was a straight Lee hyphen Curtis. Like, that was his first
I
name.
know. Just like a Marianne, like he's
I
that. And I'm like,
know.
oh my gosh. And just to touch base on what we were saying before, like I hate when it's like, oh, we don't do that. We don't do that. It's like she was
Hmm.
literally operating in his
She was his
pocket, his
puppet.
space. Exactly. It's like, oh my gosh, she has no lane for her own thing.
And
She
he
really doesn't.
he also said like it makes us look old, like it
Hmm.
ages.
Right.
And I thought it was fitting that his their name is Childs. Like he does he seems
Oh.
very
Childish.
childlike. And it's like, oh my gosh, oh look at my toys. This person,
Hmm.
oh, they came here for me. You know what I'm saying? You could be hosting Christmas dinner. But if you have a young child, they're gonna think, oh my God, all these people are here for me. They're here for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's my birthday? No, it's Christmas. We're here to celebrate Christmas. Hey, you want to see me do this? Let me perform for you. He is a child in the way that in the way that he positions himself. And I think that hat, it did look like it was a hat for an older woman to me. Like it did.
Mhm.
But I think that was her way of being like, I'm trying to move into a different stage. I
Yeah.
don't want to be a kid with you anymore. You know,
Mm-mm.
I like what they did with the names, especially like the Sumpters, and
Mm-hmm.
a Sumpter being a pack animal, and
Okay.
those like
Hmm.
and them like both of them are pastors.
Mm-hmm.
And when they preach to the church, they're doing so together. And even in the way they like, I don't know if like all pack animals hunt. I'm sure they don't. Like, but it's just like the way they came in and like
Kind of took
got
over.
those, yeah, like took over those people in a way, like they are kind of like they took the other church's pack of people,
Yeah.
you know. So I like the name work that they were doing. But yeah, him in that fucking hat,
Disgraceful.
you need
Can't.
to be concerned
Yeah.
with why you feel the need to strip every chance
And
you get.
in front of little Arya,
Yeah.
Seriously.
because
Even
that's
Get
the
what
that
way
together first.
when he wanted to say amen and she wanted to say amen, and he was like, yeah, but we need to keep up with the times. It's like you want to do that youthful shit. Get on
he's
out of
trying to
here.
be.
True.
He's trying to be trendy. That's
Yeah.
what like we didn't even touch on the roadside ministry
True.
and
Oh my
how it's Trinity
god.
again. She the one holding up the sign, getting all the honks for Jesus, and Lee Curtis just yelling at her through the horn.
Mhm.
But her being in mime when Khalil rolls up, because Khalil confronts her first while she's in the mime paint. So it's kind of like she looking a fool.
So very terrible. It
And
was
then Lee
so
Curtis,
bad.
he's over off yonder somewhere. So again, it's
Yonder.
like Trinity is getting all the smoke up front before
It
we even
didn't
get to
seem
Lee
like
Curtis.
Khalil was giving her the business. It just felt
Well,
like he was ignoring her.
well, I mean, he was kind of staring her down and
Wouldn't move the
kind of
car.
make her
Yeah.
uncomfortable. Yeah, holding up traffic, and it's like, okay, do you want to talk? Do you want to leave? Like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
why? And then I thought he started yelling at her first, and then he go to Lee Curtis, and then
You're
that's when he
probably
start
right. I'm sorry.
laughing at him.
I just remember him getting out of the car very aggressively
Yeah,
and going to confront Lee Curtis.
he
And
definitely spoke to her too, because that's when she was like, Lee Curtis, he changed. He really changed, and he was like, man, f your husband, f you and your husband.
it's a shame.
I would say
Would y'all
really
have
messed up.
stayed? Would y'all have stayed with him?
I wouldn't, but I'm not
Uh,
a first. I would never be a first lady. That's another that's another thing.
um.
Like I wouldn't even be nobody's first lady.
What
Yeah, I
about
wouldn't want to
like a
be it.
political first lady?
Not that one either. No.
Oh, I can. I would love that. Not love
Mm-mm.
it, but I would act. Well, I would. I would be okay with that. Um. I don't know. I guess it's just the impact of your husband, and as long as he's a good one, good, doing right by the job and by the office, I really would be like, wow, like
It would
he's
have to
a
be a very small town that ain't into no funny business, because it couldn't be no country, because is involved in so much fuck shit that there's
It's
no
not
way for
even
you not to get your hands dirty.
for me. It's not about that. To
yeah.
me, it's about the image of having to be perfect. Even we know people aren't perfect, but look at all the crap Michelle Obama went through, and she was damn near perfect. Obama was damn near perfect, and it's like you can't even. To me, I feel like I can't even breathe. I can't let my hair down. I can't just be like I don't want to be
Hmm.
on all the time. I don't want every time I open my mouth, I have to be very careful with who I'm talking to and what I'm saying because it's gonna come back. Or to me, I couldn't deal with that. Whether it's a preacher, it's a politician, whoever it is, I don't want to be on front stage.
No, I'm with you.
Would you
I'm with
stay
you.
with him, Kalesha?
Um, that's really hard to do for that. Like I'm not, mm, God, that's a lot.
I
Yes or
That's a
will.
no?
lot. Mm,
You gotta think about it.
I'm gonna, yeah, maybe it's. I guess right now, I'm saying no. Right now.
I will say in Trinity's defense, when she said that church was just as much hers as it was his, I feel her on that because it's
Yep.
not fair that she has to give up everything that she worked for. And as we saw in the movie, Trinity was doing all of the dirty work and helping her husband with this comeback.
Mhm.
So it's like, why, why gotta give this up? This my church too.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. I mean, definitely, it's not just a singular thing for sure when you're doing things like that. So, I'm with her on that. Yeah, I agree with you 100%,
Do you think
without a doubt.
do you think there's a way where maybe Lee Curtis could have been phased out and Trinity keep the church,
Hmm.
even if she doesn't want to be like a pastor, maybe like invite other pastors in so where she doesn't have to give up. Because if she leaves him, she's pretty much giving up everything.
She is. I mean, it depends. Like, does she have enough faith and want to do that and walk down that path without him? Like
Mm,
it could have been sure, she's cool with it being a coupled effort, but like, do you really want to do this by yourself? Do you have enough passion to do this by yourself?
that's
If you
true.
do, or I think that's kind of going to be the deciding factor. She feel like, dang, I can even preach, or I really like being on the stage, and I really like talking to people and helping people behind the scenes. Then maybe she really could have kind of martyred that, and put something together. So I just think it all kind of depends on like her real motivation. Was it just fueled? Because me personally, I could have like a little bit into politics, but what if like my husband really was like into politics like that? I don't think I would do like Michelle Obama. Like, do she could probably really do it. I think she
She
has all the
could,
skills to do it,
but I
but
remember
she don't really want to.
even in her book, she said when Barack first like ran for whatever, she was just like, "Boy, bye." She wasn't. And then he won,
She
and
you
she
feel
was
it.
just like, "WTF? Like you what? Like what you mean? My life was fine."
He changed it. He literally
Yeah.
changed the course of like their family
Even her,
forever.
like she had a job. She was going to work every day, living
Yep,
like her
they
life
had their
was
children.
fine. Like she wasn't trying to like move to Washington D.C. and be a first lady. Like that was
Nope,
not part of
her
her
plan.
plan.
Mm-mm. So I'm with you on that. That wasn't what she was trying to do. I think, like we said, she could so do it. So similar to Trinity, I think Trinity, if she had the passion for it, she could probably get up there and do it, but she don't want to. I don't get that she wants to do it by herself.
She wants a
You
man
know,
with her. You think she just wants to be a
yeah, or
wife? Like
maybe
some
she'll
people
just
just
like
want to be
blaze
a
her own
wife.
trail. She gives off some vibes of that, but I think she also gives off vibes that, she can be like some motivational speaker and she goes around, if it was a real woman. You know what I mean? Like she could probably sit down with like Tamron Hall and be like, "Let me tell you my story." You know what I mean? Like that. So maybe that means she's like a motivational or author, or she's like a Martha Stewart of sorts or something. It all depends.
I think
That
she's
answer the question.
invested so much, like y'all said, in the church that she don't know what else to do. And she
True.
don't know.
If she can do it by herself.
I I don't even know if she is even thinking of that as an option. Like
Mhm.
even I
Mhm.
don't necessarily know if she wants to run the church alone or or do you know, I don't know if she wants to be preaching. I don't know if she wants to do that. I think that she was just so sold out to being a wife, to being that type of wife,
and the first lady.
and a
First lady
first
has
lady.
privileges.
And it's also, and I don't, because I think that is such a wonderful position to play. If you in if I am thinking about a wife in the way she's thinking about it, which is kind of secondary role, you offer support, you do not lead. It seems like that is the way she is defining like what a wife is supposed to be. That ain't how I define it, but that's the way she defines it. So I think, who is she gonna support if he's gone? What is she gonna do? I don't, like, who is she gonna support now? I think she's just too sold out to the tradition, and she don't know where to go. It felt the final scene of the film felt, it wasn't a happy ending at all. And I don't have a sense of what is going to happen next, other than this woman is headed for a breakdown. But what is happening after that breakdown?
Right. What's next for her?
Well, it seems like they're not getting their congregation back because they over at the something church. So
Heavens, yeah, something.
I don't know what's gonna happen to, what was that church called? They had a long name. World something. What was it called?
Foolishness, ridiculousness.
Wander to Greater Pastors Baptist. I don't know. Wander to Greater Path something. When I was watching the short, the comments was like that statue of Jesus was in the image of Khalil. Do y'all believe that?
Wait, what?
You know that statue of Jesus they had on the roadside ministry?
Yeah.
So in the short, they had the same thing, and in the comments there was like the Jesus was in the image of Khalil.
Okay.
That's
okay.
That's what Lee Curtis' image of Jesus is Khalil.
It's Khalil. Mm-hmm. Hey, I guess so. Okay, I didn't notice that.
Okay,
I didn't put that.
So do you think Lee Curtis, was this just him just being abusive and deplorable, or do you think because Khalil asked him like, did you even like me, or do you think because Lee Curtis he really thought he was like helping these boys? Like, what do you think his motivation was? Or do you feel like maybe because he couldn't express himself, he had to go this route?
I think he is fluent in what is it called when you train people? What is that called?
When you
training people?
When and it's a part of like sexual misconduct.
Grooming.
I think he's fluent in grooming. And I think he doesn't know any other way to be. I think he just believes that this is the way it's done. I think it's like,
you think he might have been assaulted?
More than likely. I think it is like R. Kelly. Like, he just thinks this is how you get girls. This is how you get girls. Like, this is how you do it. I think he doesn't get that it's wrong, but somebody legally had to say like, well, people don't really like that. They got laws on the books. It ain't right, but they got laws on the books saying you can't even be with people who want to be with you. It's like, no, R. Kelly, like this is wrong, not only legally, but like ethically. Like this is wrong.
Well, it's an abuse of
I don't think he
power.
gets it.
It's definitely an abuse of power. Whatever the age is, when you have someone of such a powerful position and they can do things for you, like he said, he was buying cars and other things.
I think that's the only way he knows how to get people. When he was playing basketball and he was like, oh, I could put you up on my skincare routine. Yeah. I can do, you never know. Maybe you can find people who are just interested in you and who don't want any of that.
Right.
But you'll never know because your go-to thing is to
flash the
attract people with your money and your power. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he knows like how to engage with people
or just how to have a loving relationship. Maybe he just never was loved. How to have just a real romantic relationship. I think he cares for Trinity. I think they have a bond and a friendship.
I think he likes what Trinity does for him.
I think he knows a genuine bond.
I don't think that anything with Lee Curtis is based on any genuine thing. I really think that he's probably like a narcissist. And like nothing is genuine. Everything is done for the purpose of advancing his whatever.
But I think he knows that, because when I say genuine, I mean some people, it's so embedded in their subconscious that they don't even know what they're doing. It's not a calculated thought. It's natural to them.
I think it's natural to him. I think it is. I think that he just, and that's why with some people, like they say, like sometimes there's just oftentimes there's no saving a narcissist because they don't even know. Like, and I don't mean to belittle people who struggle with like being narcissists or people who are like medically like labeled as sociopaths. Like I had to learn to stop just using sociopath like that, because like there are people who are like, hey, I'm a sociopath and I'm not inherently evil. Like this is an issue that I have. You know what I'm saying? So I it's sad, but I don't think that he is trying to do evil. I think that he doesn't realize that what you doing is like, it's fucked up. It's fucked up. I think he realizes, let me take that back. I think he probably realizes that it's fucked up, but I think he feels like this is just the way it's done. You know what I'm saying? If I start a business today and if I go and get workers who want to work for $2 an hour, I know that that's wrong. I'm not like, it's not, I'm trying, it's like, I think this is the way it's done. This is, in order for me to get rich like that, because that is like just the nature of fucking capitalism. In order for me to get rich, I have to exploit somebody. That's the way it's done. I'm not inherently evil, you know, but this is the way it's done. It's like, you know, so I don't know. I feel like I'm walking back what I'm saying. It's like maybe he knows, but he just thinks this is the way that it's done. And honestly, that is the way it's done. So
he probably didn't think anything was wrong until the lawsuit. And he was like, oh, wait, what you mean lawsuit? And then until the congregation started leaving. And he was like, wait a minute, what is going on here? And you notice he never acknowledges what he did.
Never.
He never apologizes. So to your point, he doesn't think he's doing anything wrong. He's just trying to figure out where did his congregation go and why he got to do this settlement. Like he just trying to pick up the pieces. He's not like, he didn't sit and be like, oh my gosh, what did I do? Oh my gosh, I can't believe, you know, I ended up in this situation. There's no going to therapy and trying to figure out what happened or how you can mend the situation. He's just like, how can I get my church back? And
Mm-hmm.
how much money I got to pay these boys?
Yeah. Do you think he liked Khalil or any of the boys? And I'm calling them boys because I think like
Yeah, they're
19 and 20
young.
year olds are children, but
Yeah.
you know, respectfully, like they are men. But do you think he liked any of them?
Um. Well, like I said, I don't think anything he's doing is conscious. I don't think he's like, okay, he's like a, well, I was gonna say predator, but he kind of is a predator, but not in the sense of like, all right, 19-year-old black men right there, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think he's, I don't know, he's drawn to them for some reason. Maybe maybe there's something in him that he wishes he had,
Mm-hmm.
or I mean, I think everything goes back to your childhood. Like, were you
It does.
abused? Like, was he abused as a kid? Did
Yeah.
he not receive love? Did he not know how to love? Like, I think that's going to be the answer to all his questions. If he really liked something or not,
Yeah.
or liked a person or not. Why y'all think these girls made this movie, the Ebo twins?
They was like, so ain't nobody gonna make no movie about Bishop Eddie Long? Ain't nobody gonna do it? Okay, hold on. Watch this.
Right. Let's put this out. I thought it was, but you said in the beginning, Ashley, that this was kind of like a first time. It could be other movies out there, but this is the first time you've kind of seen something like this. I thought it was, a good. It was good to see something like this, like on the screen. We've heard about it before. I mean, clearly, you know what I
No,
mean?
this is real life. We just saying,
Yeah.
anybody made no movie about it. Not no movie, maybe a
And like this,
documentary.
and the treatment
True.
of it. I mean, there was that film, I think Viola Davis won the Academy Award for it, Doubt. You remember Philip Seymour Hoffman,
Mhm.
and he was a Catholic priest, and there were just some scandal
Mhm.
about him being inappropriate with the young boys, and so, but
Yep. Meryl
there's
Streep.
no comedy about that. Like there ain't nothing funny.
Mm-mm.
There's nothing funny. Like
Mm-mm.
the way that you can laugh at this film, but again, not laugh out loud. I don't. It's a dark comedy. I don't
Yeah.
think we've seen a dark comedy
Mhm.
treatment of something like
Mhm.
this with black folk. You know,
Mm-mm.
Agreed.
How you feel about the mockumentary style?
Is that just the way it was shot?
Yeah, like how it was like a documentary
That's what
type
you
of.
call it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like The Office, or
hmm
who else does that?
Yeah. That is true. I didn't know that was a name for it. I liked it, but I could see what you're saying. It was like The Office,
I think it
and it is
was. Sorry,
no,
No,
no.
go ahead.
I'm trying to think of another one. You can go ahead.
I think it's fitting because so much of Trinity's dilemma is how she has to present herself. So
Yeah.
that was just another battle that she had to deal with, was
Mm-hmm.
like presenting herself to these cameras. And I think it was also fitting because they didn't have church members. So she had to be fake in front of them, and then we
Mm-hmm.
had to see that that was all an illusion. So it was a way for us to see the foolery of it. Cuz
Mm-hmm.
who else would she have had to fake it for? They ain't have no church members.
Yeah. Even at the when she was at the mall and she was just like, okay, I can leave, and then her doing that nice nasty with Sister Danetta and trying to keep her composure, but not really. The mall was when she first saw them group of boys and kind of like got
Yeah.
shook.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then her telling the camera, okay, I just need some time. And then they waited for her. And she was like, oh, y'all still here? Okay. And so you kind of saw that her going back and forth with trying to put on for the camera and grappling with real life.
How would y'all have
True.
handled that? Maybe let's take the sexual misconduct out of it. But if you run into someone who your partner has wronged.
Mm.
How, like,
You
how
talk
do you
about
handle
the
that?
when like Khalil
When
or
she saw the
at the
young
mall.
boys in the mall
Oh,
and she was like, ugh, like what, how would you handle that?
I
Take
probably just run.
sexual misconduct out. Say
I
like
would
you have
just.
chosen to be with your partner who has done someone wrong. How would you deal with that?
I would run the other way and act like I ain't see.
Okay.
I'm not gonna. I'm not
No,
confronting
that's not
nobody.
bad.
What
No,
would I do?
I know
Confront
that's not.
them and be
No,
like, yeah.
you
So,
ain't gotta confront them, but you don't have to run.
I mean, I will slight. I would just walk. It's like when you walking somewhere and you're like, oop, U turn. That's what I would do. I would do a quick U turn and go the other
That's
way.
running. No, you're not sprinting, but that's still running. You're like, okay, maybe I wouldn't run. I just walk.
I
I
do a U
walk,
turn real
walk the
quick.
other way.
Power walk, quick power
Okay,
walk through the
okay.
mall.
Very brisk.
You're like,
Very brisk.
you know what? Let me go get a pretzel. Dad,
I
I
know.
passed up that.
Wait,
I know I
what?
want a pretzel.
All of a sudden, I'm hungry. I wasn't hungry. Now I'm hungry.
Right.
Right.
Want
Like, you
ice
know
cream,
what?
but I'm lactose
Did I put
intolerant.
meter? Did I put money in that meter? Knowing it's free parking.
And don't forget, you can do the fake phone call. Like, oh
Oh,
my
I
gosh,
know.
hello, hello. Oh, really? Okay, hold on. Let me
I'll be right
get
there.
to the
I'll be
store.
right
What you
there.
trying to say is you need my undivided attention? I can't look up. I can't look up and notice my surroundings, notice people next to me. Okay, so keep my head down while I talk on the phone with you. Got it.
You need me to come get you? Okay, I'll be right there.
Like, oh my God, I'll be right there. Oh my goodness, I'm just leaving Target. Hold on. Like, what the frick?
But
So
what would
I
you
don't
run.
have to
do?
do
So
it.
that was so you just gonna run.
Oh yeah, I'm not. Nope, not today. Not gonna do it.
Mm-mm.
What would you do?
Who, me or Ashley?
Both.
You answer first, Kalesha.
Um, it's awkward. I'm not sure what I would do. I don't think, maybe I would just try to make my way around it. Like, maybe if I was at Target, I would just try to go down another aisle per se. But if I'm faced with it, if we get eye contact, it's just a bullcrap situation that unfortunately I'm put in. It's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. So I don't know how to really do it. It just depends on where I'm at, what's going on. You know, that's what I would do right now. That comes to mind.
I want to say that I would be brave enough to continue with like the regularly scheduled program, like whatever I was gonna do, continue to do that. But I
Mhm.
feel like I would probably leave too. I
Mhm.
probably would.
Cause like, what are you gonna say? Like, what's the thing? Is like, okay, you see them, they see you. Then what? You
Yeah.
gonna stop
I
and
mean,
say
and then
hi?
yeah, I wouldn't dare
Right.
confront them. I wouldn't confront them. But
Mhm.
um I hopefully we're in a place where I've done everything that I could do to make things right. You know what I'm saying? If that's
Mhm.
possible. Well, in this situation, that's not possible.
Yeah, because then first of all, it's not Trinity's responsibility to make it right. Number one,
Mhm.
because she's not the offender.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Or do you think she was aware, or do you think this was news to her?
I mean, being aware or not, I think, and this is however people define marriage. Like if we partners, if we are one unit, then I do think that you carry some responsibility about making things right. I just don't think it's like, oh, my husband is off handling that sexual
No,
misconduct thing.
I
I
get
think,
that, but I don't think whatever she says is would never be enough because Lee Curtis needs to step up. She can have all the sit down talks
yeah.
with Khalil, She can apologize. She can bake him cookies. Lee Curtis still needs to do his part. She can't do it for him.
Yes, I agree. That's very true.
Yeah, I agree with that. Same.
Yeah. I guess I'm saying I just don't think that she has no part to play.
All right, y'all, we've come to the end. We had so much fun as we always do. So please feel free to check us out on social media. Check us out on Curry Gumbo on Instagram. And then soon you're going to see us all over everything else. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Later.